that's all. If we lived our lives more like squirrels. Hello, welcome back to another episode of K.O.R.L Radio. Here with yours truly, Corey Lindsley. It's not about if kids are ethical or not to bring into this world, because that's kind of like who the fuck cares. I mean, when I say who the fuck cares, I mean, in my head, ethics and things of that nature, like morals and stuff, it's all subjective, depending on who you're talking to. So for me to say, is it ethical to bring kids into the world, what am I actually saying? If you want kids, you should have kids, regardless of how the world's going. But if you don't have kids and you don't want kids, I kind of get why you don't want kids in this day and age, because where the fuck is the world going? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we all know that the world will keep on turning no matter what we do. Like, the human race could wipe out tomorrow, and the world will still keep turning.
I just think that,
Hey, did we win?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, good. As you can see, we're in a different place than usual. Ohio State just beat the Akron Zips. Don't know why they were playing each other. Akron doesn't really have a team. Didn't know they had a team till today. So, good job, Ohio State. The final score was 52-6, actually. Ohio State as the victors. You know, that kind of makes sense. I'm happy Akron, they got to fix their car. I'm happy Akron put up a fight. There's something that's been weighing heavy on my mind as I've been getting older. And it's the aspect of having children in this day and age and how the world's changing, so to say. So I work around kids a lot, and I'm good with kids. Kids are fine, like I don't care. They're just little monsters. I say little monsters, but they're just little us. They just want to be running shit too, you know what I'm saying? But I think about the way the world's changing and how, hey Captain, eventually in the very near future, the way that we live our lives will not be a thing anymore. It's going to be completely different, it's going to completely change. And I'm not sure that that change is a positive or a negative. So it's kind of like, I think about the aspect of children and I'm like, is that okay for me to put them in a world that's fucked up? Because I'm grown now, I can tell that the world's fucked up. And I don't know if I feel comfortable putting my offspring in an environment so volatile such as Earth. But at the same time, that means I'm punk. That means I'm a punk. Because I don't want my kids to live through shit that I've had to do. I don't think so. I think that makes me cautious. Y'all see what the price happening with the prices? Y'all see what's happening with the prices? The way that we conduct business, the way that we conduct money won't be a thing. I promise you. Give it 5-10 years. I promise it will not be the same. I say get your chicken coops ready, learn how to hunt, learn how to gather, learn how to farm, because you're gonna fucking need them in the next 10 years. And for you wild things, get your guns ready. The world is changing. Because I know people like my age. I just turned 26, and I know people my age. And I know people my age that got like 2-3 kids, right? Shit, I got a. She has 3 kids, and one of her kids just finished like elementary school. Like, one of her kids has just finished middle school or some shit. Like, one of her kids is like 12, 13. And I'm 26. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense to me. So it's just kind of like how people are raising kids in this fucking economy. Because I know the jobs ain't paying what they need. Anyway, ethical, moral standards of having children. would I love to have a kid? Yeah, that'd be fucking great, you know? A little person that's similar to me because I raised them, that's fucking cool. And you see what I just said? That means I don't want to deal with babies. I don't care, you know, I'm just gonna say I don't really care for babies. Like, babies are scary. You know why? Because they're fragile. You feel me? You drop a baby, it's over. You feel? I'm not saying you're gonna be dropping babies here and there, but I'm just saying. Pros of having a kid. I don't see any pros. Any at all. I mean, other than like you want a kid, that's the only pro. Cons of having a kid. Can't afford it. The world's fucked. Danger. Birth defects. Money again. Danger. Like, you know, there are too many cons in my head to think about having a kid. And I think a lot of people in my generation, unfortunately, feel that way. Our generation is going to be like one of the last ones. Whoa, this tree has a lot of holes in it. Well, and some eating this tree, some eating this tree up. Anyway. Y'all can do what you want with that information, but I'm not doing it. I refuse. I actually don't. I don't think it's ethically right, because think about how the world is now, and then add 10 years to that. Like, the world's about to be fucked up. Understand why people have kids? A lot of people didn't have the family they wanted growing up. A lot of people did have the family they wanted growing up. And a lot of people want to replicate that or create that, and that's beautiful. I think I just kind of debunked my own question. It's not about if kids are ethical or not to bring into this world, because that's kind of like, who the fuck cares? I mean, when I say who the fuck cares, I mean, in my head, ethics and things of that nature, like morals and stuff, it's all subjective, depending on who you're talking to. So for me to say, is it ethical to bring kids into the world, what am I actually saying? If you want kids, you should have kids, regardless of how the world's going. But if you don't have kids and you don't want kids, I kind of get why you don't want kids in this day and age, because where the fuck is the world going? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we all know that the world will keep on turning no matter what we do. Like, the human race could wipe out tomorrow, and the world will still keep turning. So I kind of got to look at it in a more optimistic way, because no matter what has happened, the world hasn't stopped. You feel me? The world was going back when we didn't have all this rumble wrath. And when I say rumble wrath, I really do mean rumble wrath, because at the end of the day, none of this shit is actually needed in the world for the world to function. Think about it. Back in our ancestors, we were killing animals to eat, just like animals kill animals to eat. That's how the world should be. You gotta think like you think more like a squirrel. We're out here thinking like we're humans, which we are. Don't get me wrong, we are. We have brains, we should use them. I'm proud of us. But at the end of the day, like, you see how a squirrel thinks? You see what they're trying to do? Their one goal is to get the nut. That's all. If we lived our lives more like squirrel, I think we'd be happier. But unfortunately, we live our lives like humans. We add all this bullshit that's unnecessary that no one actually gives a fuck about. We're just doing it because we think we're supposed to. That's why everyone's going into the woods, and that's why everyone's trying to live off the land and not really trying to be in society. But at the end of the day, you have to be in society. At the end of the day, you can't escape it. And that's actually a beautiful thing. I wouldn't say it's existential, it's more of the way of the world, how the world works. All we did is integrate into nature. For example, I'm right here, under this tree. I bet this tree was here before this fucking sidewalk was here. And perfectly integrated. I say perfectly, but there's probably like 1,000 more of these motherfuckers. For all I know, they fucking planted it. You know this place was made in the 1800s. By the way, think about time. If America was made in 1776, that means 25 years later was the 1800s, right? Think about that. The 1800s was only 100 years. Now, we all have grandparents and great-grandparents that are still alive that were born in the 30s and in the fucking 40s, okay? So put it in perspective. That means, do the 1800s, 1820, go to 1820, plus 100. We're literally like 2 generations, I would say 3. We're on the 4th generation of Americans. America's only been here for 2 generations, max 3 generations, max 3 generations. That if you do 1776, someone had a kid in 1776 and they're in America, right? 25 years, they were dying young back then. So let's say he lived to fucking 1810. Had a kid in his 30s, in his 20s, right? That kid lived until 1860. Had a kid, right? Had his kid in 1850. That kid lived till 1930. Them people are still alive. They're still alive. And at the end of the day, you can't really do anything about that. Except for get your guns and then get your weapons and be prepared. At the end of the day, you can't stop it. It's gonna come. And that's a good thing in my opinion. I was talking to them. When I said you can't stop it, this homeless man came up and said, "Stop what? Stop what?" He doesn't know I mean the day of reckoning. It's coming whether you can stop it or not. So be prepared. Because you're not going to be able to escape that motherfucker. It's gonna hit you whether you want it to or not.